Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm Zafar Bangash. Welcome to another episode of Ramadan Journey. In my conversation with Imam Muhammad Al-Asi, who is the Mufassir of the Noble Quran, titled The Ascendant Quran, Realigning Man to the Divine Power Culture. And in recent years, Imam Al-Asi has also produced two wonderful translations of the Noble Quran. One is the Arabic English, which obviously is meant for Muslims because they are familiar with the Arabic language as well. And the second one is English only, which of course is meant for essentially non-Muslims who may not be familiar with the Arabic language, and various terms that are used in the Noble Quran. And our request to our viewers is to please get a copy of this English-only translation, not only for yourselves, but get them for your friends and relatives. We can get this translation into every household in South Africa, in every library, in every university library, among students. I think that would be really a great service to Islam, and it would be your sadaqah jariyah. In addition, we also want our Muslim brothers and sisters in South Africa. They are really very generous. They've always supported various causes worldwide to help us get this Quran into the hands of people, especially in the prison system in the United States, where there are at least 2.3 million people in prison, and they are hungry for this kind of knowledge. And I think this would be really a great service to the cause of Islam and for the benefit of those people. So we hope, inshallah, that you will pay attention to this request and help us achieve our goal. Imam Al-Asi, welcome again to another episode.
An honor to be here.
Now, there is an ayat in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah. It is one of my favorite ayats. Anytime I read it, it sort of inspires me, although the whole Quran is, of course, Allah's word and guidance. But this particular ayat touches really on very fundamental issues. And the ayat, of course, is called Ayatul Bir, which is لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَالْمَلَائِكَةِ وَالْكِتَابِ وَالنَّبِيِّينَ وآتى المال على حبه ذوي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل والسائلين وفي الرقاب وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة والموفون بعهدهم إذا عاهدوا والصابرين في البأساء والضراء وحين البأس أولئك الذين صدقوا وأولئك هم المتقون. So it starts off with bir and ends with the muttaqun, but in between there are a number of very beautiful, important concepts that are mentioned, the obligations, etc. I'd like you to please elaborate on this and explain for our viewers as to what our responsibilities are in this dunya.
Yes. This ayah has very instructive and very deep and relevant meanings. I should mention here, now that you mentioned this ayah, because in working on the translation, I really had to go dive deep into the Arabic language to churn out as much as I can the relevant meanings, update the meanings so that they become much more practical to the committed Muslims and anyone who's seeking justice, because obviously the end result of understanding the Quran is to establish social justice. And all of what we have been talking about pertaining to Iman or Shirk or Kufr or Islam and all of these are just the first steps so that we can place ourselves in a direction that will end up with achieving social justice in societies and in the world. This ayah that you are referring to, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ. I will mention here, and it's good that you asked about this ayah, that in the first translation, the Arabic English one, I went along, before doing the deep dive into the Arabic language, I went along with the rest of the majority of the mufassirin who translated the word bir as virtue. And it's a shallow translation. It's not incorrect, but it's shallow. Upon further research and study, it turns out, and this is going to probably shock some of the those listening closely, the word bir means freedom. I remember one of the Egyptian Islamic philosophers, some years ago. I had an encounter with him in London, England, where I can't go anymore. I'm banned from the United Kingdom.
They don't want you to educate people.
I consider that a badge of honor. Among other countries in the world, that's one of them. I had a little give and take with him, and he brought up a couple of terminologies in the Quran that set me thinking, and this is one of them. So the Arabic, as I said in a previous presentation, there's a root word out of which many other words
are extracted,
or you can pull out. And the word bir, the letter, there's two letters in this word, the ba and the ra, and that means expansiveness. The ba and the ra put together means expansiveness. And a similar word in Arabic is bar. It's a Quranic word. في البحر ظهر الفساد في البحر والبر. So al-bahr means the ocean or the sea, and al-bar means the open land. Al-bir is this expansiveness of the will, which is the freedom that we have, that Allah has granted us. فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. There's a wide range of freedom that Allah has given us to test who we are in this world. So in this ayah, this appears in the second English-only translation, where I refined, I did a little more research, and there's some other idioms in the Quran in which they were much more investigated. So when you're reading this ayah, understanding it would be freedom is not virtue, because virtue is freedom is a virtue. So in a more general sense, as I said at the beginning, the choice of the word virtue is not, we're not saying it's incorrect, but it is shallow. Because the contents of the ayah itself, when it follows, you're going to begin to realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about freedom. So Allah is saying for us to enjoy freedom, and freedom is, according to Allah's definition, is not according to the philosophy of Mr. So-and-so or whoever the thinker or the ideologue is. It's according to Allah's definition. So this obtaining this type of freedom, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ, is not to, in your prayers, orient yourselves towards the east or the west. depending on where, your direction of prayer is. And we know east or west is in reference to the globe that we are in. If you're somewhere, you're going to pray towards the east. If you're somewhere else, towards the west, or towards the north, or towards... So Allah is saying it's not the direction that you take in your rituals that's going to bring you freedom. So this goes to address those who think that just because they are going to observe the rituals of their religion, they are going to acquire freedom. Allah is telling us, no, it's not going to happen that way. ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين. See, you're gonna enjoy your freedom. You're gonna obtain your freedom when you are gonna commit to Allah and what follows that. You are certain of the final day of judgment. You are certain of you see the word many days. You don't understand how much time has gone into trying to surface the meanings of the Qur'an. Like the word al-malaika is usually, not usually, 100% of the times, it's translated as angels. And when you try to get a grip of the word malaika, it has the meaning of control in it. We say malakul maut. The average person say, well, that's the angel of death. No, it's the person who controls the time that you are going to not the person, but the power that is deputized. Let's use that word with the risk of, but we want to communicate and understand things. Allah has deputized powers to have a function in our lives and in the universe itself. And the biblical understanding of it is angels. And for people who are satisfied with that, maybe without depth understanding of the word, fine, you can live with that. I want to understand more, so anyways.
I'm afraid I'll have to stop you here. We're going to continue with this discussion. It's really fascinating because we need to elaborate on this more. It's really, you had me sort of knocked out.
Well, when you ask a question with that depth, that's the answer you're going to get. I've
been discussing these concepts of the Noble Quran with Imam Muhammad Al-Asi. Unfortunately, we have run out of time in this episode, but we'll continue this conversation with Imam Al-Asi because I think this really needs to be, explained in a way that we begin to get to grips with these really finer meanings of the Noble Quran. So we hope, inshallah, that you will get your own copy, particularly this English-only version, in which, as Imam Al-Asi pointed out, that he has explained this concept of bir away from what we are used to historically, that is not merely virtue, as he says, it's actually freedom. And I think this is something that we need to continue to get into more. And this ayat, this really beautiful ayat, we need to internalize it. But until then, we'll have to say, sorry, we are out of time for this episode. We'll inshallah continue our conversation with Imam Al-Asi on the next episode. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I'm Zafar Bangash. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.